What's going on, everyone? It is TheDurf, and in today's video I'm bringing back a Warlock build that started virtually unknown and morphed quickly into the top of the meta, and that is the OG Void Warlock build featuring Axiom Bolt, Controverse Hold, Choir of One, and of course double special ammo weapons. This build will print you orbs of power, generate your super in 1 minute, and basically make you invincible in every activity that you will find yourself in. So whether you're looking for a great day one build to go through activities in Renegades, or you're looking for a build that puts easy mode in the palm of your hands, this is the build for you. And this is also the build I am personally going to be running once Renegades drops to level myself up and get as much gear as possible early on. So without further delay, let's get it going. To get us started on our absolutely insanely overpowered Void Warlock build, super of choice is going to be Nova Bomb Cataclysm. Hurl an explosive bolt of void light at a target, disintegrating those caught within its blast. Nova Bomb travels slowly and seeks targets. Detonations shatter into smaller seeker projectiles. Now, if you don't want to use Cataclysm, the only other one that really probably would work would be Nova Bomb Vortex. So dealer's choice if you want to go with these two, one of these two, but Cataclysm just always seems to hit harder. For abilities, we're going to go with the Healing Rift, Burst Glide. Of course, we only have Pocket Singularity, and Axiom Bolt is non-negotiable for this build, and we're going to go over why once we go through the aspects. Our first aspect is going to be Chaos Accelerant. Overcharge a grenade, making it deadlier and more effective. If you scroll down to Axiom Bolt, it detonates twice and has enhanced seekers. This is going to pair with our exotic armor Controverse Hold and make it absolutely OP in every activity that you run this in. Next up is going to be Feed the Void. Defeat a target with a Void ability to activate Devour. Your Devour effects are improved, restoring additional health and grenade energy. Remember, you can extend Devour with any final blow, which means you will continue to restore your health and give yourself additional grenade energy. Now, depending on how you set this up, you might be able to switch out to Child of the Old Gods, where you will have your Void Soul, which is also going to be scaled by your grenade stat. If you do this, you're going to have to make sure you're picking up your Orbs of Power and your Void Breaches, and we're going to go over that here in the Fragments. For Fragments, first up on the list is going to be Echo of Starvation. Echo of Starvation. For Fragments, first up on the list is going to be Echo of Starvation. Picking up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power grants Devour. Now, if you do take off Feed the Void and switch out to Child of the Old Gods, this is where you're going to have to make sure you're picking up your Orbs of Power to get Devour. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, that's just how it came out. Void Breaches will also cover this as well. So if you are pinned down in an endgame activity and you don't have Feed the Void equipped, you're going to be kind of struggling to get your Devour activated. However, in any other activity in which you don't have problems picking up Orbs of Power, you might be able to get away without using it. The trade-off, of course, is you can cash your Void Soul when it regenerates and use that to pick enemies off or bosses off while you are pinned down. So I guess it really just depends on how you want to play. Next up is going to be Echo of Remnants. Your lingering grenade effects, Vortex Grenade, Void Wall, Void Spike, and Axiom Bolt have increased duration. This means you're going to generate additional seekers that last longer. So occasionally, if you generate a Axiom Bolt grenade, you'll see your seekers kind of just hanging out in mid-air if they don't have an enemy to track to. This is by design because they tend to last longer, which means they can travel further technically. Next up is going to be Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your Void weapons. Because our main ad clear and, well, half of our main DPS, I guess you can call it, will be a Void weapon, granting yourself volatile rounds is going to be pretty much a given with 100% uptime, give or take, depending on how busy the activity is that you are running. Last but not least, Echo of Harvest. Defeating weakened targets creates an orb of power and a void breach. This is a good way to generate additional pickups for yourself, which will in turn generate additional ability regen. So when we talk about things like 1 minute supers, 15 seconds, not even, to get your grenade, pocket singularity, basically always on cue, as well as your rift, yeah, this is why. When we go through the cycle of gameplay in whatever activity we're in using this build, we're going to basically, I don't know what you want to call it, have infinite abilities. Yeah, it's that powerful. For stat distribution, you want to focus on grenade, weapons, and super in that order. Class ability does not matter whatsoever. You do want your health to be a little bit higher than what I've got it. Typically speaking, you want it to try to be about around a 40 for most activities. When you get to real hard content, you want to try to get that to at least a 70. But where I have it right now, as long as I'm picking up orbs of power and I'm not playing so reckless that I'm just constantly, in every line of fire out there, you'll do just fine. And the more you play with this, the more comfortable you're going to be with where your stats are at. But the grenade being at 151, for reference, is going to give us an additional 32.8% PvE damage, which is absolutely huge. It's basically a mini Nova Bomb in your hand. For weapons, the only true choice is going to be Mint Retrograde. The reason for this is we need a Barrier Pierce option for dealing with champs, and Mint Retrograde is going to be better than anything else that you could put in this slot. Our energy weapon is going to be Choir of One. Yes, so we are running double special with this build, but don't worry, I'm not worried about running out of ammo. In fact, every activity I've taken this build into, I haven't. And we're going to go over why once we get to the armor. The heavy slot is completely up to you. I like to try to pair things up, so I like it to match my Mint Retrograde. You can also throw on a Void Grenade Launcher if you want, but Haliatus has been a staple in my builds for a while now, and even though you see only 33 enemies defeated, this thing really only gets brought out when I'm facing bosses, because I don't really have issues dealing with champs with a lot of the builds that I run and that I've shared with you guys along this season. For the armor set bonus, we're going to go with Last Discipline. The key here is being able to generate as much special ammo as possible. So at 4 pieces, picking up an Orb of Power grants special ammo progress. Now again, if you have problems picking up Orbs of Power, or you just purposely don't, or you don't care about them, this bonus will not matter then to you, and you're going to end up running out of ammo. Keep in mind that both of these weapons, look at this, I've got a 15 on the ammo generation for Choir of One, and on Mint Retrograde, I've got a whopping 36. That includes the abundant ammo. Now, if you have Envious Arsenal on here, yeah, you're going to be sitting pretty above a 50, and that's great, but that means you're going to have to be using this weapon more to generate ammo back for your Choir of One. So to mitigate this, we're going to talk about how to mod your armor. But first, we're going to talk about Controverse Hold. Controverse Hold, as soon as the grenade stat really started to matter, once we were able to plunge our grenade stat as high as we want, up to 200, Controverse Hold suddenly became even more powerful than it already was. So resist incoming damage while charging your Void Grenade with Chaos Acceleration. Charge Void Grenades, return grenade energy on hit, and apply Weaken. So our Axiom Bolt is going to apply Weaken. Of course, that means we're going to get a Void Breach and an Orb of Power every time we kill an enemy. And oh, by the way, every grenade hit that we get is going to give us grenade energy back. So what does that mean? Well, that means on top of getting an Orb of Power every second, which is what we're going to be going over here when I talk about the armor mods in general, you're going to be getting Devour, plus additional grenade energy return, plus you're going to weaken everything that your Axiom Bolt grenade touches. So I don't know how many things that is that stacked together, but yeah, it's a lot for just one build. For the rest of the armor, go ahead and spec into whatever general armor mod that you need. In the helmet slot, make sure you throw on a special ammo finder. This means that all sources will contribute to the special ammo meter. Next up, make sure you have Ashes to Assets. Every single kill you get with your Axiom Bolt will grant you super energy. So when I say 1 minute supers, I literally mean 1 minute supers. at most for most busy activities. And last but not least, put on a harmonic siphon. That way you can put on a major 10 plus armor mod in the section for your armor mods, because this only costs 1 energy. For Controverse Hold, make sure you throw on 3 fire powers. At 3 fire powers, you only need a 1-second cooldown to generate an additional orb of power on a grenade kill. So, assuming that every enemy that you kill is not equidistant from every enemy that is also killed with your Axiom Bolt, that pretty much means you're going to get orb after orb of power after orb after orb after orb after orb after orb. So yes, as I tongue twisted my way through that saying, yes, it is that powerful. And as you saw in the gameplay in the intro, yeah, you can get 60% of your kills to generate orbs of power, which is going to be huge for you as well as your allies when it comes to dealing abilities as well as damage to bosses and pretty much anything that comes your way. For the chest armor, go ahead and spec into 2 elemental damage resistance mods. Whatever activity you're running, make sure you check out what the threat is and mod yourself accordingly. If you are not going to be seeing a specific element, make sure you don't have that equipped in here. You do want to put on harmonic ammo generation. That means every kill that you get with your Choir of One is going to increase the generation of ammo from your Choir of One. For the legs, go ahead and put on double absolution. You can put on insulation if you want. If your class stat is very low. However, in so seeing this, I think what's more appropriate is probably just to give myself either better already or innervation. I'm going to go with better already, because of course I'm running this in higher endgame content. Finally, in the class item, go ahead and throw on your class font. 1 orb of power gives you a plus 20 to your class font, which means, 1 orb of power puts me at a 34. And Reaper will give me a orb of power, my next weapon, Final Blow. And of course, I want my grenade back as fast as possible, so it's a no-brainer. I'm going to put on Bomber. For the artifact, there's not a lot of void love in here, but we're going to make it work. In the first column, make sure you have on anti-barrier scout and pulse, so your mint retrograde can pierce barrier champs bubbles. And also make sure you have on overload rapid fire so that you can stun your overloads with your Choir of One. In the second column, go ahead and put on threadling proliferation. That way you can have a chance to spawn threadlings with your rocket launcher and your mint retrograde. I also have on diviner's discount, but as you saw in the armor, I'm not even taking advantage of it. But you can, and this will help you if you want it to. In the third column, go ahead and put on refresh threads and pack tactics so you can stun unstoppable champs. In the fourth column, make sure you have on energy acceleration for the kinetic shockwave. Put on elemental coalescence so you get elemental pickups more frequently, and elemental daze so you get the explosions every time that you stun a champ. In the fifth column, go ahead and put on shield crush. Your melee is going to recharge faster and deal increased damage. I'm not going to be spamming the melee as much, but shield crush definitely fits the bill here. And more importantly, go ahead and put on Elemental Overdrive. Picking up an Elemental Pickup or Tangle grants increased damage to weapons of the same element. So whether you pick up Tangles or you pick up Void Breaches, you're going to have increased weapon damage to at least one of your weapons in your build. So let me know in the comments what you guys would change, what you guys like about the build, what you guys don't like about the build, but fine-tune for the finale of the season. I'm going to be taking this definitely into Renegades with the hopes of burning through whatever is in my way right off the bat. This is probably going to be the build that I use. It really is that good. I know you see my power at 477. I spent so much time tinkering with builds and things like that. I kind of took away from my actual gameplay where I would ordinarily max my power. So for those who are going to let me know in the comments that I should be at 550, trust me, I know, and that's going to be a focus in the next season. So anyways, if you guys did find anything helpful in this video, please consider liking and subscribing. If you know a Guardian out there who can benefit from a build like this, make sure you send this video to them or send them my way. My goal is to help as many people as possible. Huge shout out to my paying members of the channel. Thank you for your patience while I finalize these builds for the remainder of the season. And get ready, guys. Whether you are a paying member, subscriber, or just stopping by the channel for the very first time seeing this video, Renegades is going to be a different animal. If you saw the most recent updates from Bungie, community, and I am looking forward to it and looking to bring you guys as many builds as I possibly can next season. And if you guys are looking for that non-toxic gaming community, make sure you head into my Discord. It is booming. People are partying up every single day to get things done, and I'm sure that will continue once we get into Renegades. A lot of great people in there, and of course, no toxicity. So I'm going to switch over to the boss fight, and we will wrap this up, everyone. It's hard to believe that a build like this is more powerful than a season in which elements like Solar and Strand, two powerhouse elements in and of themselves, are the featured ones inside of an artifact. But here we are talking about it. And again, that wasn't a joke when I said in the beginning of the video, this is going to be the build that I roll with in day one when Renegades drops. It's going to be the build that I'm going to farm stuff with. It's going to be the build that I go through conquests with. If there are new ones, whatever the new activities are, it doesn't really matter. This is going to be the build that I run through it. And the reason for it is simple. Despite whatever the artifact is going to put out, whatever people are going to be running, you're still going to need functionality, and you're going to need some common sense gameplay when it comes to survivability. Again, we don't fully know exactly how the game is going to feel once Renegades drops, and that's part of it. Being able to weaken everything, being able to print orbs of power, being able to generate your super in 1 minute, and being able to do all those things also while running a double special setup is just not, I don't know what the word is. It's not like you can do that with just any build. This build truly is what people would consider meta, because you can customize it a little bit to fit your needs. You can run a variety of void weapons, not just Choir 1, unless you want to run it exactly like I've got it set up. Either way, I mean, whether you're running a primary void weapon or you're running Choir 1, or you're mixing and matching the other two weapons, it doesn't really matter. The gameplay is still the same. Throw the grenade, let your purple buddies do what they do. Of course, there I pretty much guaranteed myself dying with 10 exploding enemies right in 5 meters of me. But other than that, I mean, this isn't a build that you're going to die easily with. This isn't a build that you're going to have, constant wanting for your abilities to come back. It's not a build that you're not going to have your health regenerating almost infinitely at all times, and it's not a build that hits weak either. So whether you're doing this because you want to run the battlefield in your fire team, or you're doing this because you want to make sure that your allies have a formidable ally on their side, either way, it doesn't, you're going to be able to fit it. And let's be honest, when it comes to running harder content, this kind of a build is going to help carry you when everything around you seems like it's breaking down. So anyways, hopefully you guys like the build. Hopefully you guys like the video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like and subscribe for more content, because Renegades is right around the corner. And oh, by the way, here's the scorecard one more time. I will see you guys next time. Take care.